If you haven't felt imposter syndrome, you aren't pushing yourself enough. Imposter syndrome is a good thing. It's a sign that you are stretching beyond what you're capable of and that you are learning and growing. If you haven't felt imposter syndrome in the past year, that should be a red flag for you. That means that you are too comfortable and that you are not growing anymore. When I think about the times in my career I've felt imposter syndrome, it has been in the moments where I have been pushed in the limelight in a leadership position. And I have to say that as you get more senior and more tenured, the bigger your imposter syndrome grows. I remember when I first became a founder with co-founders, even though I had been a founder before of my own business, joining a startup with co-founders, now leading a team, hiring people and having employees, I remember feeling uncomfortable saying that I was a founder. And instead, I would always say co-founder, as if having the co before the founder would allow me to deflect to other people. After that, I started angel investing and eventually became an investment partner and was deploying capital to startups. But there was always this weird nagging feeling that I wasn't a real investor because I didn't work for an established fund or I didn't graduate from a venture capital school. There's no such thing as a venture capital school. But because I was pushing myself and I had this big ambition and I was just trying to figure out and learn it, I felt imposter syndrome. Now, 7 years later, I've now deployed almost $1 million in capital. I can now confidently and comfortably say that I'm an angel investor. And then most recently, I joined a tech startup about 3.5 years ago as a marketer. And even though I had been doing marketing things for over 12 years at that point, because I never had a marketing title before, I felt like I wasn't a real marketer. And it is so funny that having these labels make you question whether or not you are that thing, even if you do that thing. To put this more concretely, let's say you run. If you run on the weekends, even if you do it once a week, once a month, you are a runner. If you write blog posts, if you write marketing emails, you are a writer. If you create content on YouTube, you are a content creator or a YouTuber. No one is going to give us the official certificate that we are the thing, and we should just accept that we are that role if we're already doing it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, imposter syndrome is good. It means you are pushing yourself beyond the limits of where you are today and that you are growing. Be more alarmed if you aren't feeling imposter syndrome, because that's usually a sign that you're too comfortable and you aren't growing. Some of the things that I've done in order to combat this imposter syndrome is one, I have talked to coaches. I have spent my fair share of thousands of dollars on an executive coach to help me understand why I was feeling insecure or some imposter syndrome in my new roles. So having a sounding board and someone to talk to about this is really helpful. They can identify whether or not what you're feeling or thinking is actually true, or if it's just all in your head. The second thing is I am a big believer of taking courses in professional development education. I'm always enrolled in a course at some point in my life. In this day and age, we have to keep our skills current and in line with the market, and there's so much new technologies that are happening that investing in your professional development and education is absolutely a requirement for succeeding in your role. And the third thing, I think, is just eliminating labels. Why do we have to say that we are a YouTuber or a content creator? Why not shoot videos? Do we really need to have a title? We are all just people. And so by not using a title at all, but talking about what you do, it validates that you are doing the thing. So instead of saying, hey, I'm a content creator, I'm a YouTuber, I would just say, my new passion project and my new business is creating content on XYZ. I'm launching a YouTube channel. And that's it. You don't have to say, that you're a YouTuber or you're a content creator, but you're just describing what it is you do. When I think about it, I have been able to turn my weakness into a strength. As I mentioned, I've felt a lot of imposter syndrome throughout my career, especially as I progressed and moved into positions of leadership. Because of my imposter syndrome, I have been able to take a ton of courses. So now I am an ultra learner where I feel like I've built a lot of skills, more so than some of my peers who just expect to learn new things at their job. Because I don't want to feel like I'm failing at my job or that I am not pushing myself and learning, I will usually take courses outside of my 9 to 5. And this has become an unfair advantage for me. I can learn new things quickly because I have been enrolling in so many courses throughout my career, particularly in the last 10 years. I have joined public speaking courses. I have done growth courses, marketing courses, every single type of course, writing courses. And these are usually about 1 to 3 months in investment in time. And because I've enrolled in so many courses, I feel pretty confident about my skills in those areas. And so this is just an example of how you can turn a weakness, which is feeling imposter syndrome, and turning that into a strength and a superpower. Now, if there's something I don't know, I am so confident that I can find a course that's going to teach me. So one example is SQL or SQL. We deal with a lot of data at my company, and I don't know how to do SQL, but I have confidence that I can learn SQL because I have learned so many things on my own, in the past few years. So turn your weakness into a strength, and you do that by identifying the problem, creating a plan for how you're going to tackle that problem, and then make small steps to solving that problem. What you can't do, and what I will tell you not to do, is to just sit there and wallow in that problem and not do anything about it. Take small actions every day to help you to get to where you want to go. And I think that's been my MO in life. I've always been quick to act on things, whether or not it was the right choice or the right path, I won't know until I try it, and then you can learn from it. To summarize this, 3 things that you could do to help eliminate imposter syndrome is to 1, talk to a coach or a trusted friend or colleague who can reflect back. The second thing is to upskill yourself and to make sure that you are continuing to learn professionally and that you are building the skills to be comfortable in the new thing that you're trying to do. And then the third thing is to eliminate labels. Instead of saying or giving yourself a title, just describe what it is that you're doing. Whether you're running, whether you're writing, whether you're creating content. Labels are unnecessary. We are just whatever it is that we do. In the next video, I will be sharing my reflections of my first 100 days creating content on YouTube, and I hope that it'll be helpful for you. I'll catch you at the next one. Bye.